Goodness, this is big, everybody. Listen up. President Trump has had enough and is now defying a court order from a federal judge. This came out last night, guys. With everything that's happening with all the elections and all the socialists winning, Trump said enough is enough. He's not going to follow the orders from the federal judge in giving out SNAP benefits if the Democrats keep the government closed. This is insane, everybody. Do you agree with Trump or not? Because with defying this judge, it's affecting 42 million people. On the other hand, it is the Democrats' fault right now that the government is shut down. But not only that, Trump has now threatened to withhold his support during the midterms in 2026 if the Republican GOP does not get on board and nuke the filibuster. He said the only way to save America is to stop the Democrats rigging elections. All across X, all across social media, people were flaunting and mocking voting multiple times. We even had one big county that didn't even include independents. 75,000 people couldn't even vote in yesterday's election. It's always a cluster. Trump said nationwide voter ID mandate, ban mail-in ballots, terminate the filibuster, ban illegals from counted in the census, nationwide voter roll audit, same-day in-person voting. If you agree with this, hit the thumbs up like button, guys. Let me know because this is big. Trump is had enough. And again, when you're defying the federal judge's order, when you're threatening, again, your support, people know that they need Trump's support in order to win. Trump has a list. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Not only that, Texas GOP Representative Brandon Gill, we like him, he's a MAGA guy, has formally filed articles of impeachment against U.S. District Judge James Boasberg, who has been at the center of Trump administration's lawfare when it came to Jack Smith, when it came to the Arctic Frost, when it came to the Alien Enemies Act. Judge Boasberg has been trying to stop Trump for years, and now formally filed articles of impeachment have been filed against him. We are now, again, this is insane because Trump is continuously working to make America great again. He said the Trump administration is closing in on a deal to allow Medicare to cover certain weight loss drugs produced by Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk, a move that could dramatically reduce the estimated cost of coverage. This is big. Again, guys, Trump is not playing around when it comes to Medicare, Social Security, Medicaid, SNAP, putting America first always. This is big. And not only that, yes, it is true that the White House has officially released a new page on their White House website exposing every illegal criminal that they have arrested. This is big. Should corrupt Democrats and Republicans be put on there as well? I say yes. This is a big, big day, guys. Defying a federal judge's order, the Mamdani winning, socialists winning over New York, the filibuster, nuking it. There's a lot of things that are going on. We got a ton of breaking news for you today, but we've got the receipts to show you. You're going to see things on this channel that you don't see on mainstream media. This is big. Want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our members and subscribers. Thank you so much for your support. We can't do it without you, and it's only because of you that we're able to grow and be better. If you're not part of the family yet, please consider joining and hitting that subscribe button. It's free, guys. We want to serve you every day with the breaking news. I want to give some special love to the members of this channel and those that give a super chat donation. We're so grateful for your support. Again, we partner with you. When you give a super chat or you are a member or you gift a membership, then on the 22nd of every single month, we're donating live on stream to a local charity, changing lives, sending money to these children's homes and helping to make their lives better, knowing that they don't have anybody, but they got us. If you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. I want to give some special love to Susan Fitzpatrick. Show Susan Fitzpatrick some love in the chat, everybody. Our girl Kathy Brewer, OG of the channel. And our boy Chris Prez with the gifted 20 TrueLife News memberships. You got a free membership. Show our boy Chris some love in the chat. We pray for you, brother. He's been out sick, but he's back now. Show Chris Press some love in the chat. Appreciate you so much, brother, for the super chat. And our boy Jim Barbato, OG of the channel as well. Papa Don, the Texas Lazy Gardener. Guys, give it up for these amazing, amazing people. A lot of things are about to change right now, guys. Listen to this, because I'm telling you, what I got to show you today is going to blow your mind. Trump's fed up with it, defying federal judges' orders now and threatening the GOP if they don't nuke the filibuster. Listen to this.
Are Crockett and Mondani stars or just crazy comments on a collision course with their party?
Socialism is not the future of my party. We all know how socialism works out. Ask anybody that's lived under those kinds of systems all across the globe.
If Crockett and the commie aren't the future, who is? Carville says, not Kamala.
I'll just say this very blunt. I do not feel sorry for her. You're well off. Because I don't feel sorry for you. There's no pity here, and I can't stop you from running again, but I can promise you, you're not going to get the nomination.
Clooney agrees. He's still nursing a nasty Harris hangover.
I think the mistake with it being Kamala is that she had to run against her own record, and it's very hard to do if the point of running is to say, I'm not that person. You know, it's hard to do. And so she was given a very tough task. I think it was a mistake, quite honestly, but we are where we are.
Clooney says Harris was a mistake and Biden was a mistake. You know who's not happy about that? Hunter. He says the next time he sees George, he's going to push him off the stage.
I could spend a lot of time debunking many of the things he said, because many of the things he said were just outright lies. You know? But the reality is, I don't think looking backwards like that is helpful to anyone, particularly to him. I don't think it's helpful for the Democratic Party.
Clooney's dead wrong. The Democrats have to face up to the past if they want to move forward into the future. Trump, he started a civil war in the GOP, and the party was reborn. But the Clinton faction doesn't want a healthy debate. They'd rather burn books and put the binder in a blender.
Let me tell you this, everybody. When Trump says they're going to do something, they're going to do something. This is insane what we're showing you right now. Let me know your thoughts. They've officially, this is on the White House website, whitehouse.gov/criminals. Look at this. They're literally posting every single person that they are capturing criminal illegal aliens receiving taxpayer benefits. Remember, what did the Democrats say? That it's not happening. They're not getting it. And look at this consistently. This is a long, long list, guys, and they're just getting started. This is what Trump said he is fed up with, is that every time the Democrats lie, every time that we're trying to expose all the corruption, that a lot of these people are just gaslit. And now we're moving forward to do what? Put America first like never before, everybody. And again, Trump said we have to do the following things right here on this list. Because I'm telling you, if we don't get this list done, we will 100% lose the next election. He said pass voter reform, voter ID, no mail-in ballots, save our Supreme Court from packing, no two-state edition, talking about Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico, terminate the filibuster, all this stuff that's coming out, guys. This is it. And now he's gone through, and now he's saying, guess what? We're not going to listen to these federal judges anymore. Check this out. President Trump defies court order, says SNAP recipients will not receive food stamps until the government reopens. A lot of this stuff coming out. Let me know if you agree with this or not. But Trump is fed up, everybody. So much corruption, so much has happened, and guess what? What are we seeing? We're constantly saying that the Democrats are continuing to win over with socialistic policies, and now we're bringing people over from the left to actually being in the center. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, this is big, what you're about to hear next.
John Fetterman is here. Senator, socialism might be taking over the Democratic Party. If it does, will you become a Republican?
No, well, socialism might be taking over in New York City, tomorrow, but that's certainly not the future of my party. And remind people that New York City's politics are not a national model. And watch the kinds of campaigns that would encourage him to campaign with him. It's like Pennsylvania keeps people honest. We're very purple, and I know and I love a lot of people that voted for the president. And now that's like, it keeps you honest to remember that, there's two sides and you have to find a way forward. And that's really the future. And that's why I'm proud to be a part of it.
So you're agreeing with the Republicans on the shutdown. You're agreeing on Israel. You're agreeing on the woke BS. Are you close to becoming a Republican?
No, I'd be a terrible Republican, but I'll just be a very honest Democrat that's not necessarily afraid to push back against some of these views that I just don't agree with. Like, if you can't be a very unapologetically support for Israel, then that's a problem for my party. If you think it's the right thing to shut our government down for any reason, then that should be a problem too. And I believe we need to secure our border. And things were out of control under the Biden administration about the border, and now I think that's right, and that's the views that I have. And so, with this shutdown, it would be wrong if the Republicans do that. It's wrong now. We need to reopen this. And now, for me as a Democrat, 42 million Americans, the food insecure. I mean, that's at the very kind of core of the kinds of people that we really need to protect. Now every union that's attached to this shutdown, they're all calling this has to end. If we're fighting for working families, why don't we agree with them and just do this? So,
well, why won't Schumer do it? I mean, you voted to open the government.
Well, I mean, I really kind of led the charge back in March about keeping our government open. And I thought I might be the only Democrat. And there was enough people back in March. And I said, I'm going to be right there in September when this comes back. And if I'm the only Democrat, I'll still be there because it's wrong to shut our government down.
Does Schumer hate you for this?
No, of course he doesn't. He doesn't hate me. We might disagree with it right now. And where I'm here tonight to have a conversation because I'm going to have a conversation with the other side. And that's where I'm at. And I'm going to show up and talk to anyone that invites me to be here because we really need each other. And I want to have, and one other thing I refuse to do as a Democrat, I'm not going to call you a fascist or a Nazi. I'm not going to compare anyone to Hitler or anything. That's wrong. And if you resort to that thing, you've lost the plot. It's like, because if you call him a fascist, then you have to think, well, maybe the people that vote for him, and I know people that love for him, is a fascist. That's just not true. And I know people that voted for the other side, and they're not trying to destroy our Constitution.
Well, the guy up there...
Let me tell you this, everybody. You don't think this is all by design? I show you things you're not going to see on mainstream media, everybody. Scott Pressler in Chester County exposed that 75,000 independents were accidentally pushed off today's printer voter rolls, causing delays and provisional ballots running out, okay? This is what happened during these elections in these blue states, okay? Not only that, you don't think that it's by intention that Mom Donnie won? Listen to this. This is a video talking about how the Muslim Brotherhood leaders explained that after 700 years of failed military attempts to conquer Europe and the West, now they have peacefully infiltrated the West through immigration, explaining that's how New York and London ended up under Islamic rule. Talking about Mom Donnie. Guys, I'm telling you, it's happening in front of our face and we're paying them to do it. And they're giving them benefits. This is, again, Islamification. We're living through it. And this is what people are voting for. And it's happening right before our eyes. And a lot of stuff that you're about to see next, guys, what Trump is saying, where he's at on nuking this filibuster and making sure that we get our free and fair election so that stuff like what happened yesterday, 3 red counties couldn't be counted because of what? Bomb threats. 75,000 people were left off the voter rolls, couldn't even come to vote. This stuff keeps happening under this Democratic rule. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But Trump said and told every Republican senator to their faces they must end the filibuster or nothing will be passed for 3+ years. Pass voter ID, no mail-in voting, all things make our elections secure and safe. And again, this is where we're at, everybody. I want to give some special love to Robert Cash. Thank you so much, brother. The Texas Lazy Gardener. Aaron B424. Appreciate you, brother. Said Trump has been right about everything. Amen. Stop. And then Debbie K. Thank you so much for your support. Papa Don said, to God be the glory. Thank you, Joel. Praying for your safety too. Appreciate you, brother. Show Robert Cash some love in the chat. Said we should do a donation to help support hunger. Amen. I'm actually working on that, brother. Barbara Holland, welcome to the family. And don't forget to show Chris Press some love in the chat. If you got a free membership from him, OGs of the channel, thank y'all so much for your support, everybody. I want to move real quick into this because, again, this affects everybody. What Trump is trying to do, continuously putting America first, guys. This is big. Across the board, Trump knows that, hey, we have to take care of everybody as much as possible. One of the big things that Trump is doing, Trump nears deal for Medicare coverage for obesity drugs, okay? This is big. But not only that, we right now know that Medicare Advantage premiums are to increase in 2026. There's a lot of things going on right now when it comes to Medicare, and it's open enrollment time. I want to move real quick into our sponsor. Guys, if you're on Medicare and you haven't called up our sponsor chapter, remember, this is free. I recommend that you do so. And the reason being is, number one, it's free. Number two, it 100% is going to benefit you. They have saved seniors on average $1,100 a year, guys. And when I show you, you can go Google this yourself, medical news today, that there's 5,600 plans nationwide. This don't even make any sense. I tell this to everybody and they're like, no way, no way. And I show them, I'm like, you can't make this stuff up. When things are with the government, it's so just complex and it's bad for everybody. But we partner with Chapter. The number is 667-895-3015. They compare every single Medicare plan using this amazing software and they get you taken care of. And on average, takes less than 20 minutes. They have helped people on this channel save $1,400 a year, $2,700 a year, and on average, $1,100 a year. I don't know about y'all, but that's some big, big money. So call them up. Tell them that Joel sent you from TrueLife News. They're going to get you taken care of. Again, the number is 667-895-3015. I just want our American citizens to be put first. I want our American citizens, while all this stuff is happening right here, to be put first and make sure that they are taken care of 100%. Because again, too, what you're about to hear next, the fight is on, baby. Listen to this.
Josh Hawley, I would count you as one of those folks. What do you have to say to Mondami? He challenged you last night, threw down right there on world television, sir.
Well, I would just say this. We see now what the Democrats' response is to the crisis of the working class in our country, Steve, and their response is communism. Their response is state control, rule by the elite, rule by the rich, because make no mistake, that's who Mondami actually represents. That's what he actually believes in, and it's also the destruction of Western civilization. This is a guy who does not believe in American history, American culture, American values. This is a guy who wants to tear it all down.
Senator, hang on. That speech last night, he was quoting from the Enlightenment. He was quoting Thomas Jefferson. He was quoting the greatest philosophers and thinkers, Emerson. Wasn't that? Did you miss that part of the speech, sir?
Yeah, this is his attempt to wrap himself in, I guess, in the flag. I mean, I don't know that Emerson's really the flag, but I think we see through that.
Well, no, he didn't. Hang on. He didn't. First off, he went to every third world country. I don't think he mentioned anything about the United States of America. This was this guy unmasked. What you're seeing right there. And Bill Ackman sent out a tweet, the billionaire, to grovel in front of him. Hey, I'm so glad you won, and if there's anything I can do to help you, DM me here. This was as brutal a throwdown as you could ever have. And I appreciate the guy for not hiding it. He hid it so long with the TikTok videos, but this is a direct challenge, not just to the president, but to the entire MAGA movement, sir.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think the answer, or the question rather, is what are we going to do about it? What are populists who actually believe in this country, who believe in the history of this country, who believe in our culture and our civilization? Are we going to have an answer, or are we just going to capitulate? Because we see what their answer is. Their answer is tear it all down and rebuild it on the foundation of secular, atheistic communism. That's what he runs on. That's what he represents. And are we instead going to say, no, actually, we're going to get back to what we truly believe in this country? This is a working class Christian country. Are we going to build on that foundation? That's the challenge, Stephen. We cannot be timid right now in this moment. We have to come forward and say there is one way forward. It is to return to the principles of the United States of America. No more half measures, but that is the challenge in front of us, I think, big time.
Let me show you this, everybody. Even on CNN, they were flabbergasted. And if you appreciate what we're doing, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, this is big. What I'm about to show you too is I'm bringing you the truth of what is happening with context. Even on CNN, Van Jones is like, oh snap, like, who the heck is this person giving this speech, Mom Donnie? Because everything that we've seen him, he's been smiles and laughing and loving. This dude sounded like a tyrant last night. Listen to what Van Jones on CNN said, because again, just like PDX, our boy Richard said, the Trojan horse. Listen to this.
Train with him or not? Is he going to include me? Is he going to be more of a class warrior even in office? I think he missed a chance tonight to open up and bring more people into the tent. I think his tone was sharp. I think he was using the microphone in a way that he was almost yelling. And that's not the Mom Donnie that we've seen on TikTok and the great interviews and stuff like that. So I felt like it was a little bit of a character switch here where the warm...
character switch.
An open, embracing guy that's close to working people was not on stage tonight, and there was some other voice on stage. That said, he's very young.
All right, guys, you just heard him. Look how fast this dude switched once he got into office. If there's anything that I love about Trump is what you saw before the campaign, in office, he's always the same guy. You know what you're getting. When it comes to the Rhino Republicans, you know that they'll say anything to get voted in, and then they do nothing. When it comes to the Democrats, they'll lie like nobody's business to get in, and then they 100% step over Americans to put illegals first. This is, again, a big fight, and we just had some more breaking news I'm about to show you coming from the Senate over nuking the filibuster, guys. This is big.
Senator, this morning at the breakfast with the Senate, now what's going on? Because as you know, particularly about this funding illegal alien health care has been the central point of the Schumer shutdown. But I notice a lot of folks are getting wobbly right now as the heat's getting turned up. Your thoughts?
Well, I think here's the big message that the president sent, which is that the Senate better be prepared to do something here and reopen the government and do it on our terms that protects working people, that doesn't give health care to illegals, as you said, that doesn't turn over control of this government to illegals and the radical left. And if that means eliminating or changing the filibuster, then the Senate should be prepared to do that. And Steve, I have to tell you, I think he's right about that. I mean, I've been saying to these Democrats, if you think that you can just shut down the government, deny Donald Trump any ability to govern, he's the duly elected president of the United States. If you think you can take away food from 40 million Americans, take away the pay of our great military, take away the pay of our border patrol, if you think you can do that, and then you come to me, Democrats, and say, well, you just have to live with it. No, I don't. And if you think I'm going to side with some arcane Senate rule rather than siding with the people, you got it wrong. So I think we're on a collision course here, and unless the Democrats change course, if they put me to the choice of people or the Senate rules, I'm choosing the people. And I want that to be loud and clear. I want people to understand that, including my Republican colleagues. They need to hear it. And I think that's the point the president made today.
Can you actually change the filibuster just for one vote and go back to it? Because it has protected, particularly in those years that we were in the wilderness, it does protect you. It does give you at least a shield to be able to fight back. Is that pretty catastrophic?
I want to show you this breaking news real quick, everybody, because again, always on this channel, we show you the breaking news. Senator John Cornyn, Republican from Texas, has expressed he's open to nuking the filibuster for certain situations, such as appropriations bills and government shutdowns. This is huge. This has literally just happened, everybody. A lot of things are changing. Trump had the meeting this morning with all the senators. He is ready to make things happen, and he's had enough. Alice Lewis, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said, all I can say is try to stay positive and trust that Trump will get things done quickly. Amen. Show Alice Lewis some love in the chat. Thank you so much for your support. And don't forget to show our boy Chris Prez some love. If you got a free gifted membership from him, this is big, everybody. With this happening, if we nuke the filibuster, so we could literally codify all of Trump's executive orders, but again, build safeguards that the Democrats cannot overturn even if they were to win the next election. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
For this situation, I mean, have you guys weighed and measured this?
Yeah, you can change the filibuster in a lot of ways, Steve. And I would just say to the Democrats out there who now, after voting to do this multiple times, are now hyperventilating about it. Listen, if you want to prevent this, then reopen the government without health care to illegals. Stop the hostage taking. You know, in my state, they're holding hostage thousands of military men and women, thousands of agents, law enforcement agents, and thousands of needy working people who cannot eat. Stop the hostage taking. I mean, this is really, the Democrats have a choice to make here, but I think Republicans have got to be clear that we're just not going to capitulate and allow this to go on forever. And so to your question, yeah, there's different ways to change or reform the filibuster. You could do any number of things. You could make people actually hold the floor like they used to in the old days. You could change the vote threshold. You could say we're going to carve it out for certain things and not for others. But I think the Democrats need to know that, are we going to be the party of the people, or are we going to be the party of the Senate? And my view is, we need to be the party of the people.
From the Democrats' perspective, because the illegal alien issue is under everything. It's about the census, the redistricting. It's about sending ICE into Portland. It's about the fight in Chicago. Everything goes back to how they really have a party. And if they look at the math last night, from New York City to New Jersey, the big urban areas of New Jersey, to the Commonwealth of Virginia, and particularly the Northern Virginia, and to California on the redistricting. They're going to sit there and go, we can't give up the illegal aliens. That's the bedrock of our party, that and the visa scams. So why would they do that? Why would they do that to open up the government? They have no incentive to do that unless we really take this messaging and go up about 9 levels. I think from their perspective, they're going to say, hey, we just won. We won on illegal aliens, and we won on, in particularly in these eastern states and in New York City, with all these visa scams that have been around forever. Hell, Mandami is here illegitimately. He's only been here 6 years, a citizen of Uganda. Why would they work with you guys at all? They're just going to say, screw you.
That's exactly.
Let me tell you this, everybody. You know how big this stuff is? Texas Governor Abbott threatens 100% tariffs on New Yorkers escaping Mamdani. Everybody is saying, look, y'all voted for this guy. You let this guy happen. You better not come to dang Texas or Florida and start voting blue and mess up another state that's already, y'all have already screwed up New York. It's not the greatest city anymore. They did an exit poll. Listen to this, guys. Let me tell you how corrupt the system is. And if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, I'm telling you, everybody, we're dropping the bombs today. An exit poll revealed that 92% of voters thought that they were voting to impeach Trump with Prop 50. That's not even close to what it was about. This is how broken the messaging is and how they control the narrative when it comes to the left-wing media and the voting that happens. And this is why it's so important. And I appreciate so much when you share our videos, you like our videos, because people need to see the actual truth. Prop 50 was to redistrict California to be pretty much 100% blue. A full state as big as California, the largest electoral voting college state in the United States, 54 electoral votes, and now it's going to be pretty much blue when it comes to the House of Representatives and their representation. Yet 92% of voters thought they were voting to impeach Trump. Makes no sense whatsoever. Robert Cash, thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. Said, let's do the filibuster. Let's go. I'm with it. Jim Barbado, OG of the channel, bringing the popcorn. Show our boy Jim some love in the chat. This right here, guys, we are in a fight like nobody's business. Why? Again, the Democrats have just shown you they are willing to shut down the government for a $1.5 trillion package tied to a CR with nothing added on the Republican side. They just voted in a socialist mayor into one of the biggest cities in the United States. You tell me we have to go all in.
Exactly what the president said this morning, Steve. He made exactly that point. And he said, I think unless we get serious and show that we are serious about reopening this government, and not just that, but passing legislation like voter ID, like voter integrity laws nationwide. You know, we ought to ban ballot harvesting nationwide. I've had a bill to do that for years. We ought to do that. President talked about that today. We ought to require national voter ID. We have it in Missouri. We ought to have it in every state of the union. He talked about that today. Unless we get serious about passing some of this legislation, Steve, I think you're absolutely right. Democrats have made a bet, and they made it decades ago, that they could flood the country with illegal immigrants.
Right there.
And they could, over time, sort of wash those people through and get them registered as voters. And now, as you know, in many states, liberal states, you can't even ask for an ID. You can't check citizenship status, including in federal elections. That ought to be illegal, because this is the Democrats' long-term strategy to never, ever surrender power.
Guys, I'm telling you, if we don't bring the receipts, you don't think this matters? Look at the white population in New York City. And this is from the Census Bureau, okay? 2020, 32%. You know how much illegals make up of this? You know how much immigrants make up of this? Again, flooding these biggest states that hold the most electoral votes in the United States when it comes to our elections and the representation within the House, flooding and allowing an invasion into our country. This is what you get. Paul Triggs, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said enough is enough. Trump either defund the CIA and FBI or start arresting the top Democrats. It's getting beyond a joke. 100%, brother. Show Paul Triggs some love in the chat. Member of the channel, as well as Janice Nagayo. Show Janice, member of the channel, some love in the chat, everybody. Thank you so much for your support. This is big, big, big stuff. And again, we're showing you the receipts. This stuff you don't see on mainstream media, y'all. And to me, I'm sick and tired of just thinking like, how in the world is this our reality right now? And people on the right and the left both aren't getting it. Listen to this.
A number of ways, which we've recounted every day in our daily press conferences. Remember, this is the first time in the history of America that any party has had the audacity to close down the government over a totally clean, nonpartisan continuing resolution. I said yesterday, and I'm being honest, none of us imagined that we would be here at this moment. We couldn't have imagined that Democrats would be willing to force families to go hungry and workers to miss paychecks for 5 weeks on end, 50 days plus, and we never did imagine that they would be willing to use the pain of American families with such reckless disregard. But that is what we are seeing, and it is unconscionable. Despite the 15 opportunities they have now had to reopen the government, they have voted 15 times to keep it closed. That is the number that everyone has to pay attention to. All the Americans who are hurting because of this. They need to understand Republicans have voted 15 times to open your government, and the Democrats have voted 15 times to close it. They voted to deny paychecks to workers, to stop the flow of SNAP funds to hungry families, and all the rest. And still, somehow, they have the audacity to go on national television and gaslight the American people and try to pretend that somehow the Republican Party has some blame in this. It's the most outrageous example of political gaslighting that we have ever seen. And day after day, they have claimed, without any merit at all, this shutdown is somehow about health care. It's a blatant lie, and they know it. They tried to string together two totally unrelated issues: the expiration of the Obamacare COVID subsidies and the basic funding of the federal government. Those are two totally distinct things. Republicans have always been willing to have a conversation about the COVID-era subsidies and how to make Obamacare and healthcare more affordable. But we will not, and we should not do so as hostages in their political game. It was in no way necessary or appropriate to shut down the government in order to have bipartisan discussions about the subsidies. The reality is the Democrats could have avoided all of this chaos and all the pain, everything they've inflicted on American families, by simply voting to back the clean, nonpartisan continuing resolution, the 24-page simple document, just as they did 13 times under the Biden administration. They could have passed that 47 days ago. After the House did it, we did our work and sent it over there. And we would have had all these negotiations and continued. I'm gonna wrap this up and tell you again why. The big question is why. Why would the Democrats have the audacity to do this? As we summarized so simply yesterday, and we will do so every day, they are motivated out of fear. The Democrats shut down the government out of fear. They have never been more afraid at any point than they are right now. They know, as we all do, what their own polls show. The leadership of the Democratic Party is the most unpopular with members of their own Democratic base. And we saw that in the elections last night. The old guard is desperately trying to use this shutdown to show the radical Marxist wing of their party that they can look tough to President Trump. That's because
Let me tell you this, guys. If there is anything that is the most telling, if I don't bring you the receipts, guys, this is, you cannot make this up. This is in Texas, everybody. A red state. Texas Proposition 16 election results prohibit non-citizens from voting. Just think about this, okay? It passed. Non-citizens are not going to be able to vote, but just look at, it was 1.4 million for it, and there was still 500,000 people that said, yes, we should let non-citizens vote. You can't make this stuff up. That's a lot of people. And if those people, and I'm playing the long-term game here, guys, if those people have babies, and they have babies, and over the next 20 to 30 years, they will outweigh unless we put contingencies in place. What do you think, whenever all the immigrants that are coming in, what has been the threat that they always tell everybody here in America? We're going to overtake you in the next 20 to 50 years. And they'll literally tell people to their face. And they said, you know why? Because you don't want to have babies. You have one baby, maybe 2 kids. We have 3, 4, 5, 6 kids. So when our kids grow up and start voting, they will vote the way we believe, and they will outvote you. That's literally threats that these immigrants have made, bringing in Islamification, Sharia law, all these things from across the world into the United States. Fact check me, guys. That's what's happening. Paul Triggs, thank you so much for the super chat. Said, can't believe they're still talking about voter ID. This should have been fixed ASAP. 100%, brother. It shows that a lot of them, even the Republican rhinos, don't want it. Colleen Beaver with the gifted 5 TrueLife News memberships. Show Colleen some love in the chat for helping us grow our voice. If you got a free membership from Colleen, show her some love in the chat. And don't forget our boy Chris Prez with the gifted 20 TrueLife News memberships. Guys, everything that you're seeing here is by design. And what I'm going to show you next, again, I'm just bringing the receipts and the facts, and I'm showing you where things are heading.
New power center of the left isn't the moderates. It's the AOCs and the Bernie Sanders and the Mamdanis of the party. It's the activists who believe capitalism is evil, who disdain the founding principles of their own country. They claim that the salvation of our nation will be brought about by bigger government and more bureaucracy.
God.
Look what happened in New York City last night. For the first time in American history, an avowed, openly proclaimed socialist has been elected as the mayor of America's largest city. Zoran Mondani is without a doubt the biggest win for socialism in the history of the country, and it is the biggest loss for the American people. He is truly a committed Marxist. And the results of that race tell you everything you need to know about where the Democrats and their party are headed. From the backbench to their leadership, Democrats have fallen in line behind the socialist candidates. Hakeem Jeffries, as you know, is the highest-ranking Democrat in the House. He gave his full blessing to Mamdani and his socialist agenda. Chuck Schumer, the highest-ranking Democrat in the Senate and the highest-ranking Jewish leader in America, flirted with endorsing Mamdani all the way to the bitter end. Never mind the fact that Zoran has embraced anti-Semitic rhetoric and promised to arrest the Prime Minister of Israel if he visits New York City again. And then there's President Obama, who called Mamdani over the weekend to extend his praise and act as a sounding board for the young socialist. You can't make this stuff up. The man who made healthcare unaffordable with his own socialist scheme is advising the man whose false promises will surely make life unlivable for millions of New Yorkers who cannot afford to flee the city. As we said from this podium every morning, we talk about Mamdani for two reasons. It's a bellwether, because House Democrats, many of whom represent districts with much less blue than New York City, have embraced him with open arms. And because
I want to show you this, everybody, because again, this is the very same thing that is rocking right now, that why Trump, I believe, is doing a certain thing. So President Trump has defied court orders saying that SNAP recipients will not receive food stamps until the government reopens. Trump has come out and said, look, everything the Democrats said that wasn't happening is happening. And here is on the White House website, everybody. Illegal criminals receiving Medicaid, okay? This is just them getting started. A lot of people are like, no, the Democrats said it doesn't happen. They're not allowed to receive it. Well, guess what? This is just getting started. Look at this. Time and time and time again. So you tell me, you've got grand theft auto, vandalism, burglary. You've got DUIs, guys, murder. This is literally what's happened here in America under the Democratic watch of the Biden administration. Now, again, we all know that Trump is fed up right now. Listen to this, because I'm telling you, things are about to change.
It's time for Republicans to do what they have to do, and that's terminate the filibuster. It's the only way you can do it. And if you don't terminate the filibuster, you'll be in bad shape. We won't pass any legislation. There'll be no legislation passed for 3.25. We have 3.25 years, so that's a long time. But when they can't do an extension, and John, I think they've done an extension every single time they've ever been asked forever. This is the first time they haven't done an extension. Extensions are supposed to be easy, but if they won't do an extension, they won't do any bill, even a simple bill. And we should do our own bills. We should get out. We should do our own bills. We should open up. We should start tonight with the country's open. Congratulations. Then we should pass voter ID. We should pass no mail-in voting. We should pass all the things that we want to pass, make our elections secure and safe, because California is a disaster. Many of the states are disasters. But can you imagine when they vote almost unanimously against voter ID? All we want is voter ID. You go to a grocery store, you have to give ID. You go to a gas station, you give ID. But for voting, they want no voter ID. That's only for one reason, because they cheat. We would pass that in 15 minutes. If you don't get it, you'll never pass that. You'll never talk about mail-in ballots. Mail-in ballots make it automatically corrupt. If you have mail-in ballots, automatically it's correct. Even Jimmy Carter, they had the Carter Commission after he got out of office, and he had a group of very distinguished people, Democrats and Republicans, and they passed, they recommended things take place. It was a long time ago. And they said about mail-in ballots, if there is mail-in ballots, there will definitely be corruption, because, you know, they pass through too many hands. I mean, you go in to vote, and they want you cut.
I'm telling you, everybody, and please don't get me wrong, everybody. I love immigration. I love bringing the best of the best. What I do not love is whenever people break the law to do it. What I do not love is whenever people come to this country, tell us that everything we're doing is wrong, and then try to change us to be like where they fled from or where they came from, which is why they left in the first place. Just like I hate it whenever Californians leave California and go to a red state and continue to vote blue. It's the dumbest thing in the world. But again, too, immigration is great when done right. But you don't, what makes America so great is the capitalistic movement, the American dream, to be able to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, bust your butt, work hard, and be able to make something of yourself. What we're seeing is all these socialistic people want to give handouts. Sweetie Pie, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said some people that want Snap are voting for socialists and hating on Trump. Let Mom Donnie feed them. Trump needs to keep his course on Democrats. Amen. America first, baby. That's where we should be at, guys. Because again, listen to this. It's just stuff is coming out big time.
Say they're the party that cares about the American people, but everything that they have done for the last 36 days proves otherwise. Not only is this the longest shutdown of all time, it's also the dumbest shutdown of all time. But now that the election charades are over, maybe Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries can get the political blessing of their new savior, Zohran Mamdani, to reopen the government, to pay our federal employees, to pay our troops, and to allow struggling families on SNAP to receive the benefits that they've had for a long time. But make no mistake, this is not about governing. This is about gamesmanship to the Democratic Party.
Right there.
But I think, and I have faith, that the American people are smart, that they recognize a lie when it is being told to them. For years, during the Biden administration, we were told that the border was secure by the Democratic Party. The American people were told that the border was secure. It wasn't. For years, we were told by congressional Democrats that President Biden's mental faculties were okay, that he's never been sharper. That was a lie. And now we're told by congressional Democrats yet again that it is a Republican shutdown when we all know that the simple math is that you need 60 votes. So Chuck Schumer, I think it's time to call Zohran Mamdani and make sure that he's okay with reopening the government. They're holding the government hostage at the expense of the American people. I talked to a U.S. Marshal yesterday in the district in South Carolina. He is door dashing food and driving Ubers to pay his mortgage, to pay and feed his kids. I talked to a lady, single mother in Clio, South Carolina, last night. She receives food stamps. She's 100% disabled. She's unable to work. She relies on that assistance. And she is fearful about how she's going to feed her kids. She's traveling all the way into North Carolina to receive charitable contributions of food.
Wow.
That is the result of a Democrat shutdown. I talked to an elderly lady in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina yesterday. She has diabetes. She has shingles. She is unable to work. She is elderly. She needs that $88 to help bridge the gap at the end of the month so that she can eat.
Wow.
And she's fearful of what's going to happen next with this prolonged shutdown. For these people, these benefits are not a luxury. They're a lifeline. And it shouldn't take courage from them to band together and figure out how they're going to feed themselves. It should take leadership from the United States Senate to act and end this political charade.
Let me tell you this. Y'all don't think things are rigged, everybody? Last night, there was, right here, 125,000 early mail-in votes for Democrat governor candidate Spanberger. This morning, there were over 300,000 early mail-in votes for her. Why do you think things like this happen, guys? All this stuff that happens, all this stuff of where we see out of the middle of the night, mail-in voting, it's rigged, y'all. Again, voter ID, citizenship, one day, this is what puts us to actually having free and fair elections, not the stuff that we're seeing now. Not even close. Lay Lewis, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said they don't want Donald Trump to succeed, and I don't care how many people they run over and crush to do it. I don't know how these folks sleep at night. Me neither. It is sickening, guys. Y'all show Lay Lewis some love in the chat, OG of the channel. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much, everybody, for your support. We appreciate you so much. This is big, again, what I'm about to show you, because we are now hearing the Democrats, Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, are wanting to meet with Trump to make a deal. It is sickening, guys. Listen to this.
It's day 35 of the government shutdown, now tied for the longest in U.S. history. If Congress can't get its act together by midnight, unlikely, Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries will own that title outright. Speaker Mike Johnson making it clear the two New Yorkers are more worried about the politics of the far left than the paychecks of real Americans.
Remember, you have two New Yorkers in charge of both chambers, the Senate and the House on the Democrat side, and the minority, Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. They're both from New York. They're worried about the political retribution from the radical left activists in their party, more than they're worried about an extended government shutdown that hurts real Americans. SNAP benefits, TSA agents, Border Patrol, our troops being paid, all that is in jeopardy because these guys are playing political games.
The White House says that it'll use emergency funds to pay for nearly half of SNAP benefits throughout November, but warns that some states could see delays. So you've got issues with paychecks, you've got the military, you've got the air traffic controllers, you've got half of the people are going to get their SNAP benefits, or half of those benefits will be paid, but the others won't. And this could go on and on. We sit here and we wonder, in the backdrop of this affordability crisis, everything we're talking about on Election Day impacting New York, New Jersey, and Virginia as well, and say, how could the government be doing this? Taylor, I'm wondering, pardon me, what your thoughts are on the positioning here, how much longer Schumer can hold out.
Yeah.
I know they played the blame game, but this is just a bad look for everybody involved.
I agree. My worry about the blame game right now was some of the recent polling, and we chatted with Brian Kilmeade about this yesterday a little bit, is right now it feels like the Republicans are bearing some of that blame game, even though, and I think this comes down to messaging, and Mike Johnson certainly is trying to help with that, is that you have to make it clear that you do need some Democratic votes to get the government reopened. So if they hold out, you can't just own that on the Republicans. I have two thoughts. As you guys know, I spent a lot of time in small town USA on my maternity leave, wanting to get out of New York City. People really want the government to work for them. In middle America, in California, in the little red city, in a big blue state, they go to work cleaning pools, mowing lawns. They just want a government to work for them. They want the TSA to be open. They want to stop having flight delays. But I also do think that people are sort of sick of the freebies and the handouts. And I'm not saying that they're rooting for the government shutdown, but when we think in particularly about the SNAP benefits and just getting able-bodied people to show work requirements in order to qualify for some of these SNAP benefits, that isn't unreasonable. And a lot of people at home are really sick of, Dagan, I use a word that you use, sort of this grift, right? The grifting. And in many cases, the stealing. And so why people want a government open to work for them, people also really are sick of the freebies. And I think they're willing to hold out a little bit to get what they want.
But the Democrats could vote clean CR to open the government day again. Then they can work on some of these issues after. The sticking point is they're afraid they can't do it, and this is the only time that they have leverage. But that is painful.
13 times these Democrats in the Senate and in the House, but in the Senate 13 times have voted to keep the government shut down and inflict pain on the American people who particularly work for the government. They're voting against what they voted for. This is the budget from their president.
Yes.
This is just a continuation of the funding levels from Joe Biden, worth noting.
I want to show you this again, everybody, because again, facts, look, facts speak everything right now. This is from cis.org. 59% of illegal headed households in the United States, 59% of them are on some type of welfare. Okay? 48% of illegal headed households, that's literally half, are on food assistance. 39% of illegal headed households are on Medicaid. 4% on housing, okay? When you look at the U.S.-born headed households, it's about a third are on some type of welfare here in the United States. But look at it when it comes to the purple, illegal headed households. This is what was done by design by the Democratic Party with the invasion that happened over the Biden administration. Guys, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, this is just, to me, this is what it's all about. We're bringing the facts. We're making sure that you know what's actually going on out there, because what you think is happening most of the time is not what's really happening. Thank you so much, Jim Barbato. Let's go, brother, with the super chat. Woo, woo. Let's go. I love it. Member of the channel, OG, thank you so much, brother, for helping us in our giving. Show Jim some love in the chat, as well as our boy Paul Triggs, who said, whatever happens, please, President Trump, do not make a deal for America's sake. 100%. No more slush funds for the Democrats. Show Paul Triggs and our boy Jim Barbato some love in the chat, everybody.
So it's interesting, and kudos to President Trump yet again for talking about the filibuster, getting rid of it. Not that I necessarily agree with that, but that's what these Democrats are doing. They're filibustering. They're filibustering voting against the continuing resolution. It's only 5 votes. You only need 5 votes because 3 Democrats did vote for the continuing resolution. It was John Fetterman, Angus King, who is an independent but votes with the Democrats, and then Catherine Cortez Masto of Nevada. But there is now movement among the Democrats. There are negotiations going on. That
right
they
there,
are starting
y'all.
to get a little weak in the knees about inflicting so much pain for power. Now we see what's happening. It's because they're past Election Day. Once they get past Election Day and maybe old Abigail Spanberger gets elected the governor of Virginia, it was all about shutting down the government to benefit some half-assed garbage candidate for governor in the Commonwealth. That's what this is about. So you get past that day, and now they're going to step up and agree to, we'll vote on this to reopen the government, vote for the continuing resolution, and then we will have a separate vote on the Obamacare super subsidies, not subsidies,
enhanced.
Super subsidies.
Yeah,
$50 billion
enhanced.
a year, $500 billion over a decade that goes strictly, essentially, for wealthy people who are pre-retirement age. So they get subsidized Obamacare. The whole thing is nauseating, but classic Democrat. Put it on a bumper sticker.
Yeah, I can't say much to that.
Before the Democrats became the Mamdani Socialist Party, they were the welfare party. And Obamacare really focused their attention more than anything else because, of course, it's turned into one of the biggest welfare programs that we have in this country now, and it's just absorbing a lot of money. But you mentioned the SNAP program, Taylor. I mean, that has doubled. In cost. It was going down a little bit during the first Trump administration. Of course, then with the pandemic, it went straight up, but it hasn't come back down. It's now $120 billion a year. It was $60 billion a year in 2019. So it is doubled, and it looks like it's going to stay there. That's what the Democrats want. They want to keep it at that level. I just want to go back to 1935 when there was the man who created our current welfare system, many could argue, was FDR. Franklin Roosevelt. He was the president during the Depression. Even he said something that I think rings true today, and I'm going to quote him. He said, "To dole out relief is to administer a narcotic, a subtle destroyer of the human spirit. It is inimical to the dictates of sound policy. It is in violation of the traditions of America." He knew it. It's just as true now as it was back in 1935, but the Democrats have got nowhere else to go. The only other place they can go is hard left Marxist Mamdaniism. That's the only place they have to go. So they're hanging on to this super welfare program they have.
Elections.
I want to show you this, everybody, because again, too, today marks the 1 year since Trump's presidential win, 7% chance that he wins in 2028. Doesn't make any sense, guys. J.D. Vance is the front runner right now to win in the betting markets, but Trump does have a 7% chance he wins in the third term in 2028. I'm telling you, man. Do you know, if we nuke the filibuster, they could pass a law that would allow Trump to win for a third term. I don't know why I just thought about that, but seeing this, they could pass an amendment that allows presidents to run for a third term. Think about that. Would you vote for a 2028 Trump presidency? Is this what Bannon was talking about? That they've got ways and they're planning and this and that? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. That's pretty big, y'all. This is insane, but I want you to listen to this too, because I'm telling you, they're trying to come for Texas. Texas is the second largest electoral vote state in the United States. If the blue was to get Texas, we'd lose it all, y'all.
Video out this morning to some imam saying Texas is the Mecca of the West. The way to confront New York City is we got to hold Texas. I am very worried about Texas, sir.
Yes, Steve, me too. Look, I don't know if you saw it, but on Friday, I introduced legislation to take away the C3 status, the tax-free status of CARE, and any other organization affiliated or tied to terrorism. Introduced legislation to start vetting individuals. We stop admitting people who are adherent to Sharia law. We should deport people who are adherent to Sharia law. We've got to start getting serious about this. In this election, let's be very clear. This is a wake-up call that if you don't lead with a clear vision and a clear direction, you're going to get absolutely slaughtered. That's what happened in Virginia. You're dead right. Instead of like going around and whining about, well, you know, the AG candidate said this or said that, and, you know, oh, this was my story. Like, lead with something people can sink their teeth into. People are tired of not being able to afford housing. They're tired of not being able to afford groceries. The president is working on all of that. Secretary Besson is working on all of that, and it takes a couple of years to get his system fully firing. But we've got to have leadership that's going to say, we're going to take on the healthcare giants. We're going to go after the insurance companies. We're going to go after the big monopoly healthcare, hospital organizations. We're going to stand up and stop Sharia law. We're going to stop the radical Marxists who are trying to kill us. The vast network of people that are organized with Arabella, with Soros, with Gates, with the United Nations, with all of the international conglomerates that are funding these NGOs that are all being used to attack us, whether it's the Southern Poverty Law Center and Antifa, whether it's the 250 organizations that were shoving people into our country during Biden and Mayorkas, whether it's the district attorneys that are funded by the Soros regime and the Wren Collective, and all of these things are organized and coordinated. And Steve, you know it, and I know it, but Republicans are sitting around making nice and giving speeches on the steps of the Capitol instead of rip-roaring coming through behind the president to save this country. We've got to start being aggressive, and we've got to do something about it. I'm going to do it as a Texas Attorney General, but I've got a year left in Congress, and I'm going to keep introducing legislation to force Republicans to actually do the hard work of changing the direction of the country. And look, I think we got to be thinking through all of our options right now to make sure we do not waste the remaining 3 years and change of President Trump's administration.
And I want you to see this, guys, because we're always bringing you like the updated news. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. The Trump admin, since being in office, will cut the deficit by $600 billion this year alone. Do you realize how long it's been since we've actually cut the deficit? It's been growing and growing and growing and growing, and this is why we're $38 trillion in debt. So you tell me, guys, I'm telling you, Trump is doing what he said he'd do. His promises made, promises kept of making sure to put the United States into the golden age is coming alive. $22 trillion in new investments. That's what the T is coming to the United States, reducing the deficit, taking the burden off the taxpayer. This is what America should be like. Kimberly Rivas, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Show Kimberly some love in the chat. Thank you so much for your support. Y'all show her some love in the chat, everybody.
Well, it's 3.5 years. We're burning daylight on all these investigations. John Solomon's going to be with us at 11 to go through that. But the first order of battle, the midterms started last night. And this is why these redistricting fights, the one in Texas, we should have gotten 8 seats. We only got 5 because of Abbott and the establishment down there. They're terrified of the media, calling them out so that they get weak. Right now, we're in a range war. Virginia's going to go 10-1. Maryland last night, Wes Moore wants to be vice president. He said he's going to form a commission. Mike Pence's group is fighting us on going 9-0 in Indiana. This fight over the redistricting wars now are going to set up the midterms, which are going to set up 28. They're all inextricably linked like last night. You can't break these out as individual, just component pieces. So what do we got to do on the redistricting? You're going to be Texas AG. Would you tell Abbott right now, as the Attorney General of Texas, you got 3 more seats there, bro, let's roll hard? Or are you prepared to just sit there with Abbott and Abbott saying, it's so hard, we could lose the court case, sir?
Yeah, we need to lean into more seats, not just in Texas, but yes, in Texas, the Attorney General, but also, Indiana, like you point out, other states that aren't being as aggressive. You saw California last night. They passed their referendum to basically take their ridiculously paltry 9 Republicans out of 50, however many seats they have, and they're going to reduce that to 4 or 5. I mean, they're playing hardball. There's not a single Republican seat in New England, not one, and yet we get 40% of the vote in New England. So they're playing hardball. They're at war with us, and we're not, recognizing the war and fighting in light spirit. And look, this is the thing about going back to Islam that we've got to recognize. You can't win a war that you don't recognize exists. So we should be passing legislation right now. Look, and fight the Senate, force the votes. But we should be limiting the flow of people into our country that hate our country. We should not be expanding it. We should be putting and codifying what President Trump is doing to protect us going forward. We should be doing the things we should on healthcare, not crying in a corner saying, oh, well, we'll do Obamacare light. We should be aggressive on that stuff. And again, it's the insurance companies and the big, monopolistic hospital corporations that are killing our healthcare system with crony capitalism. We don't have capitalism. We're running a campaign of weakness. We're running a campaign as Republicans of trying to do the Democrat light. President Trump wants to lead. He wants to go on offense. And Republicans on Capitol Hill are just kind of messing around going, well, we got this big, beautiful bill done, and now we're kind of done, and let's limp through into the midterms. We can't do that. And look, in Texas, we've got to double down. If there is no Texas, the country completely falls apart. And you said it, and people need to know it. The Muslim Brotherhood in London and in Paris, they recognize that Dallas in particular, Texas, is the epicenter of what they're trying to do for the Islamification of not just Texas, not just America, but the Western Hemisphere. They're planting the seeds here, and we've got to rip those seeds up and get them out of Texas.
Before I lose you, by the way, 100%, Muslim Brotherhood should be designated a terrorist organization today. 100%. Real quickly, there's going to be tons of pressure from rhino senators for President Trump putting in his ear, oh, it's all about the shutdown. The Democrats still want to put $1 trillion in to financing illegal alien health care. The reason he lost New York City last night is 40 or 50 years of bad immigration policy, of visa scams, all of it. Where do you stand on the shutdown right now, Chip?
Yeah, 100% stand. The president has been doing the right thing. We've got to hold the line, but we need to hold the line with a more forceful message. Democrats are the ones that are causing this. They want to take this into Thanksgiving, make them own it, but we've got to be on offense. Don't just sit here quietly being on defense. Let's go back to Washington. Let's get up there. Let's pass righteous bills. Let's send them over to the Senate. Let's demand that they take action on those righteous bills. Let's pass H.R. 2 from the last Congress securing the border. Let's pass bills that limit Sharia law coming into our country. Let's pass the SAVE Act again and tell them that we shouldn't have just citizens voting in American elections. Let's pass legislation banning stock trading for members of Congress who are enriching themselves while they're, on committees and self-trading. Let's do those things and demonstrate we've got an agenda, and let's get aggressive on healthcare. Go after the corporate cronyism. Go after the PBMs. Demonstrate that we're with the hardworking Americans and not the ruling class. If we do that, we win. If we sit back on defense, and if we side with the moderates, and if we undermine President Trump, then it will be a bloodbath in the midterms, and that will do nothing to advance the agenda for a free country.
I'm telling you, everybody, everything that we're seeing now and everything that's coming out is telling us time and time again, it's going to be socialism versus capitalism, MAGA versus socialist, for what we've just seen over the past day, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you appreciate what we're doing here, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. Guys, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's watching. If you're not a part of our family yet, please consider joining our family. hitting that subscribe button so we can take care of you every single day with the breaking news. And again, I want to say too that there is so much going on with Medicare right now. There's open enrollment right now. And I know from everything that I've seen, from all the testimonials, guys, that with our sponsor, which is free, Chapter, they compare every single Medicare plan out there. And it's free. They take care of you. They've saved so much people, so much money on this channel. They've saved people on this channel $1,400 a year, $2,700 a year, $750 a year. I get all these things and they let me know. But when we know that right now, look at this. Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services estimates there would be about 5,600, everybody. 5,600 Medicare Advantage plans available nationwide. How in the world do you know which one's the best? Well, that's why you partner with this company. They take care of you. Things are always changing every single year. So you want to make sure that you're always getting the most money saved. And it takes less than 20 minutes. Call them up, 667-895-3015. They're going to get you taken care of. And like I said, we're here to serve you and bring you as much value as possible. I also want to thank everybody that is a member of the channel. Thank you so much for your support. And thank you to everybody that helps out with your donations. Remember, on the 22nd of every single month, we partner with you and we donate to a local charity live on stream. And we are literally changing lives. We give to local charities, local children's homes, these kids that don't have anybody, but they got us. And I want to give some special love to Kathy Brewer, OG of the channel today. Show Kathy some love. Chris Prez back with us. Thank you. We appreciate Chris and his 20 gifted True Life News memberships. If you got a free membership from Chris, show him some love in the chat. Also, we're so happy that you are better, brother. We missed you. Show our boy Jim Barbato, OG of the channel, some love in the chat. Papa Don, thank you so much. Digging It with Don. Our boy Robert Cash, Aaron B. 424, Debbie, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Alice Lewis, OG of the channel. Thank you so much, Paul Triggs, Janice Negeo, Colleen Beaver with the 5 gifted True Life News memberships. Show her some love in the chat. Sweetie Pie, Lay Lewis, OG of the channel. Thank you so much for your support. Kimberly Rivas and Lou Landry, welcome to the family. Show Lou some love in the chat, everybody. We got the best chat on YouTube. We're growing our family. We're growing our giving. Thank you so much for sharing our videos on X, on Facebook. We can't thank you enough. We love you, appreciate you. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.